I used to listen to False FM before I never had a dream to be on radio or anything like that. So the way things happened for me were kind of that I kind of fell into positions. I was with my cousin one day and he was knocking about with a group of kids. We were kids at the time, you know what I mean? So he was knocking about with a young group and they were going to like Rise Park, which is a part of Romford, and I rolled with him one day. No one said to me that where we were going had a pirate radio station coming from the kitchen. So I've walked into this place just looking to chill, smoke a bit of weed, whatever, you know what I mean? And there's something going on in the kitchen. They're playing some tunes and I'm like, damn, like, what's going on? Oh, there's a radio station in there. You know what I mean? So me, being someone who was always banging to music, ended up in the kitchen. And I was just sort of jamming in there. A couple of people said to me, a guy called MCA that I was talking to, was like, oh, what do you do then? What do you do? At the time, I was just like a kid in my bedroom with an interest, you know what I mean? And then he was sort of there. He knew I had an interest in it, and he was the one who just sort of was talking on the mic, and then he went and just handed me the microphone. Didn't even really know what to do with it, you know what I mean? I was just handed a microphone, was chatting some shit for a little while, didn't even really have any lyrics, and it's like I've always said, it was that kind of moment that I thought, I went home and I was like, damn, I was on radio today. I only went to go out with my cousin for a couple of hours and ended up on radio. I better get some lyrics together, you know what I mean?
So that's where it all began?
That's kind of where... It didn't begin there because I was always... Like, I always used to MC with my boys from school on our decks in our bedrooms, you know what I mean? I had a couple of lyrics to begin with, but that really was the point where I thought, there's a platform there now. Whether I was looking for that platform or not, there's a platform there, you know what I mean? And I was then surrounded by people who had the same interest. Because my cousin didn't. You know what I mean? I was rolling around with him. His thing was more chilling, smoking weed, just like, you know what I mean? A group of kids driving around in cars because you used to modify your own cars in the 90s. And it was more of a thing where going there kind of changed the course of my interest.
Made you realise something was possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Generally, if me as an artist, if I walked into somewhere and it was a kitchen, I'm not sure if I would take it serious. You know, until obviously you hear and you see the production values.
It's not even that. It's not even that, because when I walked into the kitchen, this was some crusty kitchen with like two different looking decks. It weren't even like, you know what I mean? It was a Technics 1200 and a Technics 1210 with a rusty mixer in the middle, you know what I mean? So it weren't something that I walked in there and went, wow, look at the production, but the phone was popping off.
All right.
So you knew people were listening, and these people are like, oh, I'm locked in here. Shout out to Zoe, Chloe and
Dowie.
Dowie, yeah. You know what I mean? So it was just like, wait, there's people locking into this, you know what I mean? So even though I didn't have a platform to begin with, whatever I was saying was being heard, you know what I mean? So it weren't really what was happening inside that studio, it was what was happening outside.
Do you think it would be different now with the visuals if people could see? Because obviously
totally
they couldn't see.
now. It's totally different.
So if people were to see that, do you think they would take it serious now? Or it would be like, oh, that's a joke thing?
Nah, bro, because it wasn't about what was inside. The studio was just a room to be able to make something happen. And the vibe that we created in that room, you know what I mean? Like empty Stella cans being used as ashtrays. You know what I mean? It was a bit scummy, bro. It was a bit scummy, but that was the way it was. It was middle of summer. You're absolutely sweating. You can't open the windows because you can't have the neighbours know that there's a pirate station coming from in here. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't really about, like I say, it weren't what was going on inside the studio. As long as that was a means to reach the people outside.
To you as the artist, you don't care. To me as an artist, I wouldn't care as long as I can do my recording, do my...
Yeah, but that's how it was back then.
Right.
Nowadays, I mean, look where we are now, bro. You've got a big plush studio with your name on the wall and all this. You know, back in them days, bro, that would have been serious dough to be able to do something like that.
But what I'm saying is if now the cameras are on, everything's visible to the general public, do you think the public would have seen that set up and not taken it serious? That's what I'm asking.
No, not back then. Not back then, because I'm telling you now, there was people who would be like, oh, you're from False FM.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a big name. It was sick. Bro, you're on False. What's it like?